Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2024 School of Kinesiology Commencement Ceremony. I am Pete Bodery, the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education, and I have the privilege of being your host today. Before we begin the program, as a courtesy to others, please take a moment to silence your cell phones so that we can enjoy the celebration uninterrupted. I would also like to remind guests to please remain in your seats during the awarding of degrees. What a wonderful day this is. We are thrilled to be in this magnificent auditorium full of happy graduates, surrounded by their families and friends, and our own faculty and staff who are here, all of us here to celebrate your success. We know that many of this year's undergraduates graduated from high school in 2020, when so many in-person ceremonies were canceled due to the pandemic. We hope that we can make this day extra special for all of you, and know that we are so proud that you have achieved this milestone despite the immense challenges that you've faced the past few years. We're very excited to have with us Kiwan Wilkins, Executive Vice President, Chief Communications Officer at Nike, as our commencement speaker. This will be a ceremony filled with smiles, laughter, and tears, and reminders of how far you have come since your first days on campus. You've had research opportunities, internships, study abroad experiences, clinical rotations, group assignments, and other challenging projects that have added to your academic portfolio. You have enjoyed great social, cultural, and athletic events. And most importantly, you have made friendships that you will cherish forever. This afternoon is about bittersweet endings and exciting new beginnings. You have distinguished yourselves amid a population of high-achieving students who have worked hard and accomplished a great deal. We hope today's events will leave you with many wonderful memories of a celebration shared with family, friends, and the faculty and staff of the School of Kinesiology. We all know that it's a team effort to make it to graduation day. Graduates, please stand and give your family and friends and our faculty and staff a round of applause for their support. Our celebration will move along quickly, and at the conclusion of this ceremony, the platform party and graduates will depart immediately to the School of Kinesiology building directly across the street, where there will be plenty of photo opportunities and refreshments. More on this later. And now please rise as Kieran Mangrulkar, a movement science alum who is finishing his degree in music this year, sings our national anthem. Please remove your hats and mortarboards.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
This is Kieran's third year performing for us. That was wonderful, Kieran. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Lori Ploutz-Snyder, the Dean of the School of Kinesiology. Dr. Ploutz-Snyder became the leader of our school in July of 2016 after her successful tenure as a professor at Syracuse University, followed by a distinguished career as a lead scientist in exercise physiology at the NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston. Dean Ploutz-Snyder, on behalf of our faculty, staff, and students, I thank you for your leadership over the past 8 years. Please welcome Dean Lori Ploutz-Snyder.
Thank you, Dr. Beaudry. As the Dean of the School of Kinesiology, it is a great pleasure for me to welcome you to this celebration of our 2024 graduates. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge our amazing kinesiology team. Faculty and staff, please stand and let's give them a round of applause. Here at the School of Kinesiology, we aim to be the school that moves us all, moves us to improve health, moves us to recover from injury, moves communities together, moves sport business organizations to drive local economies, and moves us all to be at our very best. When our ambitious students in applied exercise science, athletic training, movement science, and sport management enter our beautiful building at the start of their college careers, we task them with figuring out where they fit within a landscape with so much potential. Is their time at the School of Kinesiology a foundation for an advanced degree such as physical therapy, medicine, public health, exercise science, business, or law? Is our school the place where they discover their leadership potential in the sport management world? Is it their first glimpse into a future career on the sidelines and in the rehab rooms of championship-winning sports teams? Is it where they discover a love of research under the mentorship of our 70-plus faculty in our 29 research centers and labs? Or is it where they realize their entrepreneurial urge to start a company that fills an important niche? Is it where they decide to help others avoid or endure the health challenges that they themselves have faced? Graduates, the only thing that really matters from our perspective is that you've been able to find what moves you. If you've done that, you have the ability to make movement mean more, because then you won't just be moving, you'll be moving with purpose and passion. You'll be moving with conviction and optimism. You'll be moving forward. We hope that during this process of discovery, you've found mentors among our faculty and staff, that you've made friends you'll stay close with for decades, and that you've formed connections that will serve you well as you continue to make moves. We hope you've sought opportunities to enrich your experience outside of the classroom, from serving in a student group to taking on a work-study job or traveling abroad. In fact, we actually know that you've done this. So indulge me in a quick activity here. Students, please raise your hand if you were one of the students who studied, interned, researched, volunteered, or traveled abroad sometime in the last 4 years. Nice. Collectively, you went to 31 different international destinations over the past 4 years, including Singapore, the Netherlands, El Salvador, Croatia, the Dominican Republic, and South Korea, and I've just named a few, and learned what it was like for people in those countries to move through the world. Okay, now raise your hand if you joined one of our 21 kinesiology student orgs and service groups during your time here in kinesiology. Nice, that's great to see so many. We are pleased that these groups can serve as an extension of the school's teachings while providing you with additional resources and relationships to help your career progression. Okay, now last one. Raise your hand if you've worked on or off campus, had an internship, competed on an athletic or academic team, or served as a teaching assistant. Oh, that might be the winner. If you can't tell, our students have figured out how to stay active in all kinds of ways, and we know they will see the benefit of that throughout their lives. We're sure that each of you and your families are as proud as we, your faculty advisors and mentors, are of this graduating class. As you move on from here, the home you've created, know that you carry our sincere congratulations and best wishes, and remember that we will always be cheering you on. It is especially fitting that such a talented graduating class will benefit from the wisdom of our exceptionally accomplished commencement speaker, Kiwan Wilkins. As Executive Vice President and Chief Communications Officer, Kiwan Wilkins leads all global corporate, consumer, and employee communications for Nike. Wilkins has been with the company for 17 years and most recently served as the Vice President of Enterprise Communications. He previously led communications for Nike's North America geography and the Jordan brand. Prior to his time at Nike, Wilkins held roles in the athletic footwear industry and with the New York Knicks. A native of Flint, he graduated with a bachelor's degree in sport management from the University of Michigan School of Kinesiology. Please help me welcome our commencement speaker, Kiwan Wilkins.
Thank you, Dean. And good afternoon, graduates, and congratulations to all of you on reaching this monumental milestone in your journey. It's truly an honor to be here to celebrate with you. I also want to congratulate distinguished professors and faculty who have helped shape your minds, the parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters who stood by you, and the many, many friends who cheered you on. This is your day too. You know, earlier this week, I got a chance to walk my wife, Teresa, and our children around campus and go down memory lane. And I must admit, there were moments that I wasn't sure that I was even on the right campus. You know, because so much has changed since I was last here, and I can't get over the fact that the campus has evolved the way it has since I was last here, let alone when I got my diploma. And that was 26 years ago. So honestly, it's a bit surreal. And whether you know it or not, back then, the program you're graduating from was not even an official school. It was the Division of Kinesiology. And a lot of our classes were held in the basement of the CCRB. And, you know, to be honest with you, our biggest worry when entering the classroom was trying not to accidentally bump into that overzealous freshman balancing 20-pound dumbbells on day 2 of their image transformation workout plan. You know, and a lot of things have changed since I was roaming around Central Campus, you know, with the backpack hanging off my shoulders, weighed down with CD booklets, but Some things are refreshingly familiar, like seeing Michigan football dominating Ohio State on the way to bring home another national championship. That's incredibly satisfying. But I bet another thing hasn't changed, and that's what it feels like to be sitting where you're sitting. And looking at each of you takes me back to my own graduation day. You know, all the conflicting emotions running through me. The same ones you're probably feeling right now. The mix of excitement and uncertainty, exhilaration and restlessness, pride and panic, the breathtaking freedom of the open road, the fear of not knowing where that road is headed. And some of you may think today is the day that you enter into the real world. First of all, let's be real. You've already entered the real world. You know, the pandemic that upended your academic and social lives, injustices around the world that have really stirred hearts around this campus, painful truths of conflict in class and climate and so much else. They've already found you. And I can promise you this, the world doesn't get more real than that. Still, it's natural to be overwhelmed when you're about to be untethered from the life you built for yourself here. I know I wasn't ready. You see, my journey to this podium was far from smooth. I grew up about 50 miles from here, but it felt more like 50,000. And Flint was, and still is, one of the roughest cities in the country. The only thing higher than the unemployment and crime rates was my determination to escape both. Now, I was a kid who loved to spend a lot of time imagining what could become possible. And in the chaos of my environment, I found sanctuary in academics, creative outlets like drawing, music, and sports, ways to slip the grip of the stressors that look to lock arms with me every day. Creating something, either on paper or out on the field, also gave me the confidence to dream. And despite the long odds stacked against me, I dared to dream of getting to this campus. Now, originally, the dream was to be on the court playing with the Fab Five. And don't laugh, it's a real dream. But, you know, the funny thing is that I've been this height, 6 feet, since the 6th grade. So I thought it was a given that I'd be a pro athlete. I was dominating those 6th graders. But around sophomore year of high school, with my growth spurt long over, I realized I was going to need another plan. So I thought about what was it that I loved so much about sports. And it was the chance to stand in the center of the action, to be part of something bigger than myself, building a true community bound by common goals, teamwork, and emotional connection. And so even if I wasn't going to turn pro, I knew I had to feed that passion somehow. Then, by pure luck, I came across an ad in the Michigan Daily for an opening in the sports information department. And that job not only helped me pay my bills and send a few dollars back home, it helped me stay in the game and turn my passion into a purpose. Whether I was interacting with the biggest media outlets covering Michigan athletics or walking up the famous tunnel at the Big House celebrating victories in the locker room, I now had a vision of what my career could be. That was a place in the arena where the adrenaline still flowed, and a chance to help build community by serving as a bridge between the team and the fans. But as senior year came to an end, uncertainty crept in. I didn't have anything lined up for after graduation, and to make matters worse, the legendary Bruce Motti, who was the sports information director at the time, informed me that he wouldn't be offering me a full-time job when school was over. Now, I was crushed, disillusioned. I felt like I had failed before I'd even started. You know, I really wanted to stay here. But he said he thought I had more potential than I knew, and thought I'd only find it if I ventured off this campus. And honestly, I thought he was just trying to spare my feelings, and it didn't actually work, but he tried. But just as I was panicking about my next steps, a fax came in from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers about an internship. I know some of you look confused, like, what is a fax? Your parents, they can explain what that is later. But anyway, I flew down for an interview. It was actually my first time ever on a plane. The next thing I knew, I was packing for Florida. Now, the day I left Michigan, I had two 20s in my pocket. And my sister, forgive me, she's here. My sister gave me her car, or should I say, car. It was a white 1984 Oldsmobile Cutlass. I want to remind you all that this was the year of 1998. And it was honestly more duct tape than metal. She had been sideswiped, and the driver's side door was smashed in. So you had to crawl in and out through the passenger side. Wasn't necessarily the ideal vehicle to be going on dates with, but so needless to say, it wasn't the hottest thing cruising down the street. I left around 4 in the morning, drove 20 hours straight down I-75, and arrived back in Tampa around midnight. And I got off on the very first exit in town, and that's the moment that the car decided that moving forward was now optional. You know, it started jerking around like it's auditioning for Dancing with the Stars or something. And at that time, I'm drenched in the Florida humidity, kind of white-knuckling the steering wheel. I finally managed to wrestle it into a parking lot of one of those $30 a night motels. This, as you can imagine, wasn't one of those fancy chains with turn-down service or any service for that matter. This was roadside Tampa. And this place looked like it gave up on life the moment it was built. So it was quite honestly the kind of place where you wouldn't be surprised to find Dee Dee the Cockroach's picture hanging on the wall as Employee of the Month. It was the kind of place that really makes you want to sleep in your clothes, shoes on and everything, just in case you got to run. So that's exactly what I did. I'm lying on top of the bed, fully clothed, like I'm in a coffin, dreaming about better life choices. You know, morning hits, and I'm supposed to be at the office at 9 a.m., and it's like my car senses my desperation and starts. I'm so relieved at this point and happy that I want to leave Dee Dee a tip, but I didn't have any money. And pulling into the Buccaneers parking lot, I park as far away from the players as I can. 'Cause I'm thinking, if I ding Warren Sapp's Beamer, I'm gonna have to join the witness protection program. So I actually ended up sleeping a lot of nights in my car, that sad little beater car, and in the trailers that they kept on site for the media team, and sometimes on chairs in the players' lounge. I actually lived on leftover team food that Coach Dungy encouraged me to take home. Eventually, the person who was responsible for helping new players on the team get settled into town found out that I didn't have a home, and he leveraged many of his relationships with a few realtors to help me find an apartment without having the need to pay a security deposit. But the rent was $425 a month, and I only made $400 a month, so needless to say, the math was not adding up. So I was struggling, and actually so were the Bucks. They were. There was so much anticipation around the team going into that year. You know, they had a breakout season in '97, so they were supposed to be the team. But they got off to a rough start. And between the overdue rent, the always empty gas tank, the homesickness, the homelessness, the disappointing season, nothing was like I pictured it. And so the next time my car wouldn't start, that was the day that I gave up too. I didn't even give notice, I just quit. And a few years later, the Bucks won the Super Bowl. But I wasn't there celebrating in the locker room, being part of the team that had fought through the years of heartbreak to reach that triumph. I'd been so focused on the outcome, I wasn't patient enough to let it all play out. And that was a hard lesson about what it means to be truly committed to your dreams. But despite the setback, I eventually found my footing. When I left Tampa, I got an opportunity to intern with the Lions back home. That led to another role with the Pistons, and eventually I got a full-time job offer in New York with the Knicks. There were a lot of fits and starts, especially in those early years. There are plenty of days in my career where I thought, you know, I'm just not cut out for this job. And there were probably days where my bosses thought the same thing. But I learned over time that each experience, positive or negative, is a step toward achieving your goal. So I continue to learn and fail and grow. And today I have a dream job at Nike that I never could have imagined for myself when I was starting out. I tell you all of this because I think a lot of us cross the stage and accept the diploma with a specific vision of what the rest of our lives should look like. And they even call this a commencement, as if everything starts automatically falling into place when you walk out of here today. You know, we paint this vivid picture in our minds, but never quite think about the thousands of brush strokes involved. Now, I've actually thought a lot about this the last few years. You know, like a lot of people during COVID, I was anxious, overwhelmed, and bored. So just like I had growing up, I started sketching to cope with what was happening around me. And at first, it was a little bit frustrating, but as I drew, I remember something I figured out as a kid. That's when you're making a work of art, it's tempting to aim for a certain outcome. But when you try to dictate the steps and get there, it never comes out quite right. And that's because art isn't about the final product. It's about the pursuit of your passion. It's about the stifling fear of being vulnerable and the breathtaking freedom of letting go. See, I discovered that my best work comes when I forget about the predetermined outcome in my head and let myself embrace what's happening in the moment, even if it's messy, even if it's hard, even if the picture isn't clear yet. You know, it takes faith and commitment to create something worthwhile, faith in yourself and commitment to your craft. And you have to resist the judgment of others, and more importantly, the criticism in your own head. And we all encounter obstacles and setbacks on the path to our dreams. And by the way, that doesn't stop even when you reach your dream. And if you ever get a chance to come out to the Nike World Headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon, you'll see a saying plastered all over the walls, which is, "There is no finish line." And it's true. No matter who you are or how far you get on your path, the hurdles keep coming. And all you can do is get better at taking them in stride. And sure, my car hasn't crapped out in the middle of the road in a while, but whether it's a new challenge at Nike or a new phase of my 3 kids' lives, there are always new problems to navigate, new frustrations and failures, new chances to mess up, to learn, and to grow. It never actually gets easy. Even if you build a life you love, especially if you build a life you love. But these are the moments our true character is revealed. It's in these moments that we must summon the courage to persevere, to push past our limitations, and to emerge stronger, more resilient than ever before. You're already doing it. Think about it. You've ping-ponged between challenging classes, you've pulled all-nighters, nailed one grueling exam after another. Some of you even worked full-time jobs on top of it all. And today, on the brink of whatever comes next, I hope you continue to find beauty in the mess of becoming. The world is complex, filled with challenges and uncertainties, but it's also filled with endless opportunity for those daring enough to embrace the chaos, look past the initial hitches, and see potential. Most of the time, the most brilliant results comes from the ugliest process. So wherever life takes you, never shy away from ugliness and growth and creation. Even if you wake up on a grimy bed in a cheap motel room in Tampa, trust that you're on the road to something beautiful. There might be times when you can't see that. Maybe you'll bail and you go home. Maybe you'll chuck your work in the garbage and have to start all over. But starting over can be part of the process too. Your career, your identity, your real life isn't an outcome you can preordain. It's a work of art you create. So forgive your flaws, forget perfection. The joys and the struggles, and yes, the failures will form the colors and the contours of your life. Class of 2024, my hope for each of you is that you embrace the possibility and potential of all that lies ahead. Trust yourselves enough to let go of expectations, to live without fear of judgment, to take your eyes off the finish line because there is no finish line, and enjoy the mess of the moment. To be present for every brushstroke, every midnight mile, and embrace them for the depth that they will add to your life. And let me leave you with this. As you go forth, remember that the road less traveled might have more potholes, but it also got the best lessons and even better stories. And wherever that road takes you, just keep driving, even if you have to pile in from the passenger side. Congratulations again, and best of luck.
Thank you, Kwan, for those thoughtful and inspiring remarks. Our program continues with our first student speaker, Alexander Lons, who is receiving a movement science degree. Alex?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Lons, and I'm a graduate of the School of Kinesiology, class of 2024. I would like to take this opportunity to thank and congratulate all my fellow classmates who have achieved this incredible accomplishment. Furthermore, I would like to thank the parents, siblings, professors, and role models who helped guide us through this journey. They have provided us with the knowledge and life skills necessary to go above and beyond. I have seen that the School of Kinesiology is made up of a diverse and incredible group of dedicated individuals. This coming year, I know that many of my peers will tackle challenges for professional sports teams. Some will conduct research to solve diseases and improve health. Others will go on to graduate school to continue their education through physical therapy school, medical school, or pursue other exciting opportunities. No matter the route you take, I know that we have been prepared to succeed. When I was lucky enough to transfer to the University of Michigan 3 years ago, I was determined to apply a quote that I love from Denzel Washington. He said, "Dreams without goals are just dreams that ultimately fuel disappointment. On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply discipline, but more importantly, consistency, because without commitment, you will never start, and without discipline, you will never finish." We have all dreamed of this moment, walking across the stage where we hear our name called. But those dreams were met by the goals we set. Personally, I set a goal each semester, each month, each day to reach this moment here. To do so, I decided to meet as many people as I could and try as many opportunities that would fit or sometimes wouldn't fit into my schedule. Let's just say I've sacrificed some sleep along the way. But it was worth it. I developed a network through the professional kinesiology fraternity Phi Epsilon Kappa. I represented Kines in central student government. I was able to travel to Italy through our study abroad program where I met some of my best friends. And I had the privilege of mentoring younger students in the Winter Star program, watching as they grew to value this place as much as I do. All of this required me to be bold enough to dream and disciplined enough to achieve. I can confidently say, knowing many of you, that you did the same during your time here at Michigan. So I ask you to remember, when you enter the workforce or you go on to another level of education, dream bigger than those around you. Equally match that dream with the commitment to yourself to start and maintain the discipline to finish. You have shown these traits for many years, so I'm confident in each of you to continue to do so. As we all know, we are leaders and best. We are alumni of the greatest university in the world. Go Blue, and congratulations. Now I'd like to invite our graduate student speaker, Win Yuan Yu, to the podium.
Thank you, Alex. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty and guests, and most importantly, the remarkable graduating class of the School of Kinesiology, good afternoon. It is an honor for me to be here and give you this speech. I'd like to begin by telling my own stories. 4 years ago, I never thought I would be pursuing a sport management career in the US. Back then, I was a Spanish major at a university in Beijing, China. However, my life trajectory changed as I got elected as the captain of my department's women's soccer team and worked in the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics as a broadcasting intern. These two major events shaped my decision to come to U of M and pursue my master's degree in sport management. Here, I had the opportunity to immerse myself in the zealous sports culture as I went to football games in the big house. To further my academic and professional pursuits, as I participated in conferences and held internships with major corporations. To engage with a diverse and vibrant community as I made friends with people from all over the world, and to experience what it meant to be among the leaders and the best. But being a student at U of M, especially an international student, my journey has not all been easy. I have spent countless late nights by my desk studying. I have worked in the dining hall till 11 p.m. to make ends meet. And I have missed my family and friends who are far away and cannot be with me on so many different occasions. Through all the hardships, all of us have demonstrated resilience, determination, and commitment. Today is a day of celebration and gratitude, a day for us to take pride in being a Michigan Wolverine and be grateful for the amazing platform that the school and the university have offered for our scholarly and professional development. But it's also a day for us to look back and celebrate our own accomplishment and hard work along the way. So, to all the graduates, congratulations! You have earned this moment, and please celebrate it wholeheartedly with pride and joy. As you go forth from this place, may you keep alive the curiosity about the world around you. Do what you love and love what you do. And no matter where you come from, be proud of your cultural heritage and identity. Go blue and forever, hail to the victors. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to my parents. I'd also like to say it in my native language, 谢谢爸爸妈妈. Now, I'd like to welcome Michael Stack, the chair of the Kinesiology Alumni Society Board of Governors, to the podium.
Thank you, Wen Yuan. Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Stack, and I'm the chair of the Kinesiology Alumni Society Board of Governors and an adjunct faculty member at the School of Kinesiology. On behalf of the entire alumni board, I want to be the first to congratulate you as being alumni from the School of Kinesiology and the newest members of our alumni society. We hope that all of you will continue to be strong, loyal, contributing alumni in the years to come and stay connected to the School of Kinesiology through its events, programs, and social media channels. Many of you have received the direct benefit of alumni networking and connections for mentorships, internships, and jobs. In fact, I've already met some of you via social media, at networking events, and in classes I've taught in applied exercise science. Alumni engagement is the foundational component of the Alumni Society's mission. And I'm sure you understand firsthand the value of the opportunities to meet and connect. I urge you to scan the QR code on the card you receive with your alumni pin when you walk across the stage. That will take you to a web page where you'll be able to learn more about the Kinesiology Alumni Society and the benefits we can offer you, including career resources, invites to game watches, networking, group tickets to sport fundraisers to support the school, and so much more. On behalf of the entire Kinesiology Alumni Society, congrats to you, the class of 2024, and go blue. I'd now like to invite Katie Gersten to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Stack. Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here to celebrate with us today. My name is Katie Gersten, and I'm the former Vice President of Phi Epsilon Kappa, the University of Michigan's professional kinesiology fraternity. It is my honor this evening to present the 2023 to 2024 Students' Excellence Teaching Awards. These awards give students the opportunity to recognize the School of Kinesiology graduate student instructors, lecturers, and full-time faculty for their meaningful contributions to the lives of students at the school. Kinesiology students nominate individuals, and a committee of kinesiology student organization leaders select the winners. The recipients are chosen based on their superior classroom teaching and innovative instruction, their dedication to challenging their students to learn and explore educational and professional opportunities, and their concern for students in and outside of the classroom. Our first award winner is Professor Dr. Keitra Armstrong. Our student said, Dr. Armstrong always makes it her goal to listen to and honor all of her students. Her class is fun and interesting in the context of heavy and important topics. Even with a 3-hour class, I feel consistently engaged. I think everyone feels comfortable talking about the topics regardless of their background because Dr. Armstrong makes all of us feel comfortable. She is always looking to understand our thoughts and also wants us to do work that is meaningful. She is one of the best professors I've had at the School of Kinesiology. I would like to invite Dr. Armstrong to the podium to accept her Excellence in Teaching Award. Congratulations. Our second award winner is lecturer Dr. Yvonne Shakir. Our student said, Dr. Shakir is so clear, patient, and good at understanding questions. Every class she makes a point to understand what we're going through as students and puts herself in our shoes. She continually returns the class topics to application in the clinical and healthcare setting. This has not only demonstrated to me that she cares about our career goals, but keeps the class interesting, as I can interpret how these topics will apply to my career and life post-graduation. Once I was the only one in office hours, and Dr. Shakir and I got to know each other. We had a lot in common, and I can see my future self in Dr. Shakir. It gave me hope that I am doing the right things and I'm on the right path to attain the career I want to pursue. I would like to invite Dr. Shakir to the podium to accept her Teaching and Excellence Award. Congratulations. Our third award winner is lecturer Dr. Michael Mignano. Our student said, Professor Mignano asks every student that walks in how they are doing and how classes are going. He always has created such a comfortable environment to learn and ask questions. Professor Mignano makes class genuinely enjoyable while also making hard to understand concepts very simple. He encourages us to challenge ourselves and make himself available for guidance in and out of the classroom. Every class, he continuously displays his love for teaching and care for his students. Can't say enough good things about him. I would like to invite Professor Mignano to the podium to accept his Excellence in Teaching Award. Congratulations. Our fourth and final winner is graduate student instructor Luke Stoneback. Our student said, Luke holds office hours before exams that are extremely helpful. He always gave super thorough and helpful review sessions. He had great relationships with all the students, and his support was super patient. I finally would like to invite Luke to the podium to accept his Excellence in Teaching Award. Congratulations. Congratulations once again to all of the recipients of this year's Students' Excellence in Teaching Awards. I would now like to welcome Dr. Greg Carty to the podium. But before I conclude, I want to congratulate my fellow graduates of the class of 2024. I wish you all the best of luck in all your future endeavors, and forever go blue.
Thank you, Katie. My name is Greg Carty, and I'm the Associate Dean for Research. Research makes up an integral part of the academic experience in the School of Kinesiology, and we encourage our students to take advantage of the many opportunities available to them throughout their studies. For example, graduate and undergraduate students may complete a thesis while working closely with a faculty member on a specific research problem. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge those students who have completed a research thesis this year. Students, please stand as I call your name. I ask the audience to hold their applause until all the names have been announced. Stacy Hirsch completed a senior thesis entitled Addressing Neuromuscular Characteristics of Static and Dynamic Postural Control in Autism using Electromyography and Posturography. Olivia Chug completed a movement science honors thesis entitled Sex Differences in Abdominal Subcutaneous Adipose Tissue After a Single Bout of Exercise at 3 Different Intensities. Jaden Levinson completed a movement science honors thesis entitled Exploring the Relationship Between Occupation and Hand Function in the Aging Population. Hala Abyss completed a master's thesis entitled Contextual Factors Affecting Classroom Physical Activity in Minority Communities. Ching Tong Bao completed a master's thesis entitled The Relationship Between Upper Extremity and Balance Function Among Peoples with Multiple Sclerosis. Congratulations all. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the graduates themselves. I'd like to ask Mr. Stack to take his position on stage. Students, remember to receive your pen from Mr. Stack and pause for a photo at the far end of the stage before returning to your seat. Kinesiology confers degrees in the following areas: Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Science, Bachelor of Arts, and Bachelor of Science. We begin with the granting of our doctoral degrees. The following descriptions I'll be reading represent a synopsis of the dissertation project that each of our doctoral graduates have completed under the supervision of a graduate faculty mentor, as well as any honors and awards they've received during their time here. Kathy Babiak, the Associate Dean for Faculty Affairs, will assist in the hooding of our graduates, along with their faculty advisors. Rachel Logue Cook and Dr. Susan Brown, please join Dr. Babiak. Rachel Logue Cook's dissertation is titled Untangling Complex Factors Influencing the Understanding of Age-Related Hand Impairments. Her research focuses on aging and upper limb function with the goal of optimizing ways for older adults to maintain functional independence well into later adulthood. She has also developed a community-based program, Hands and Health at Home, which provides kinesiology students with the opportunity to work with homebound older adults to improve hand function. Findings from her doctoral work have led to 7 peer-reviewed publications, with several more under review as well as presentations at 8 national and international conferences. During her time at Michigan, Rachel has received several honors, including a Kinesiology Graduate Student Excellence in Teaching Award in 2021, a Rackham Outstanding Graduate Instructor Award in 2022, and a prestigious Rackham Predoctoral Fellowship for 2023-24. Congratulations, Dr. Logue Cook. Stephen Garcia and Dr. Ryan Palmieri-Smith, please join Dr. Babiak. Stephen Garcia's dissertation is entitled Identifying and Targeting Modifiable Risk Factors Linked to Knee Joint Health After Anterior Cruciate Ligament Reconstruction. Stephen's work focused on how joint biomechanics and body size influence femoral cartilage health after ACL reconstruction. He also examined if modifying walking speed and cadence could affect knee loading in these patients with knee injury. Stephen's time at Michigan was immensely productive. He published 11 peer-reviewed manuscripts and 14 conference presentations. Stephen's potential as an independent research scientist was also recognized with a prestigious F31 predoctoral fellowship from the National Institutes of Health. Not only is Stephen a great scientist, but he is an awesome mentor to aspiring researchers, which is evidenced through his receipt of an Outstanding Mentor Award from the University of Michigan Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program. Stephen's next steps have taken him to the University of Illinois Chicago for a postdoctoral fellowship where he has been studying the effects of perturbation training to prevent falls after total knee arthroplasty. Congratulations, Dr. Garcia. Alana Goldenkoff and Dr. Michael Vesia, please join Dr. Babiak. Alana Goldenkoff's dissertation is entitled Optimizing Repetitive Transcranial Magnetic Stimulation Protocols for Motor Function. She researches brain networks that control movement and develops ways to optimize brain stimulation for neurorehabilitation after movement disorders. Alana will have published 12 peer-reviewed manuscripts related to her dissertation work, 1 book chapter, and 15 conference presentations. Alana's high-quality scholarship and professional zeal have been well recognized by receiving several honors as a doctoral student. She received the very prestigious National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship, the Society for Neuroscience Trainee Professional Development Award, the School of Kinesiology's Paul Hunsicker Memorial Award and Victor Ketch Excellence Award, a Graduate Impact Award from the Ginsberg Center for Community Service and Learning, a Diplomacy Research Award from the Ford School of Public Policy. I'm not done. A Rackham Graduate School Research Award, and honorable mention for the American Kinesiology Association Student Scholar National Award. Alana's research also focused on the broader social implications of scientific research, and she was selected into the inaugural class of Quad Fellows designed to build ties among the next generation of scientists and technologists. After graduation, Alana intends to pursue her passion for exploring the interplay between science, policy, governance, and communities. Congratulations, Dr. Goldenkoff. J.J. Kim and Dr. Andrew Ludlow, please join Dr. Babiak. J.J. Kim's dissertation is entitled Alternative Splicing Regulation of Human Telomerase Reverse Transcriptase, Cancer Therapeutic Implications, Discovery of Novel TERT Isoforms, and Impact of Exercise and Aging. His research focused on a biomarker with key roles in both aging and cancer. During his time at Michigan, J.J. produced high-quality scholarship that resulted in 5 published manuscripts and 3 more in progress. J.J. received the Zatkoff Family Graduate Fellowship and the Lucille M. Swift Honors Award for his work. He also presented his work at several national and international academic conferences. J.J. defended his thesis in the fall and started a postdoctoral fellowship at the National Cancer Institute, where he is studying RNA biology and cancer. Congratulations, Dr. Kim. Please join me in once again congratulating our newly minted doctoral graduates. I will now turn the stage over to Doug Trabue, the host of Morning Edition on Michigan Public, the public radio network based here at the University of Michigan. He will announce the master's and bachelor's degree graduates.
Thank you, Dr. Carty. I'd like to ask Dr. Brian Syka to take his position on stage to congratulate the Master of Science Athletic Training graduates. Students, as you cross the stage, remember to shake your faculty member's hand, receive your pin from Mr. Stack, and pause for a photo at the far end of the stage before returning to your seat. Wen Yuan Yu. Cameron Wild. Maya Copado. Rebecca Logan Altenberger. Emerson Grace Smith. Catherine Alyssa Donnelly. Taylor Ruthann Brown. Edna Chiao Xiu. Tai Sovic. I'd like to ask Dr. Deanna Gates to take, I think I've jumped to the gun here. Brielle Francesca Smith. Deanna Gates to take her position on stage to congratulate the Master of Science Movement Science graduates. Danielle Renee Page. Sydney Bitar. Paige Ann Strauss. Ariana Elizabeth Shikuki. Jody Gita Motleg. Shuyuan Liu. Sanjay Dronavali. Hawa Abbas. Yingjua Qian. Aisha Hani Hussein. Jalen Llewellyn. Junior Luis Lopez Perez. Jingzhu Zhang. I'd like to ask Dr. Dae-hee Kwok to take his position on stage to congratulate the Master of Science Sport Management graduates. Zhou Shu Chiao. Kemi Su. Anirudh Sunil Kumar. Kwang Chen Du. David Arthur Corey. Cameron Kroll. Shantaris D. Brown. Kylie Elizabeth Lizon. Jessica Margaret Henningsen. Susan Lee Bonsbach. Julia Catherine Vess. Paige Alyssa Eno. Edon Wong. David Anthony Wokers Jr. Zachary Aaron Puente. Lucas Alexander Clark. Lachlan Thomas Sawal. Molly Elizabeth Kelly. Shinyi Felice Gee. I'd like to ask Dr. Natalie Colabianchi and Dr. Laura Richardson to take their positions on stage to congratulate the Bachelor of Science, Applied Exercise Science graduates. Cody James Kegley. Clayton Barrett Cooper. Dylan Mondshine. Jordan Christopher Sowash. Justin Nathaniel Ladd. Kyle Hautza Lee. Javier Martinez. Joshua Matthew Andreu. Kenzie Grace McGeorge. Ben Carey. Austin Blake Farhudi. Eugene Yu. Congrats. Lindsay Perlman. Ann Kushner. Lily Kate Hershkovitz. Molly Lynn Simpson. Jameson Nightingale. Sarah Bridenstine. Elizabeth Van Blarkum. Libby Kate Alsemgeest. Annabelle Lynn Hubbard. Olivia Lynn Olk. Lauren Nema. Emma Grace Simpson. Brooke Ann Harrison. Noah Thomas West. Jacob T. Truscott. I'd like to ask Dr. Brian Umberger and Dr. Kara Palmer to take their positions on stage to congratulate the Bachelor of Science, Movement Science graduates. Braden James Turner. Alexander Zaev Eisner. Stacy Beth Hirsch. Ella Mei-Ling Liu. Alexa Lyon. Maya Plotkin. Jenna Carice Mulligan. Margaret Ann Moriarty. Adrian Franzoy. Jacob Patrick Malamed. Sage Felbrugi. Lillian Michelle Kiesler. Chloe Marie Terada. Amelia Meany. Jaden Elise Levinson. Emily Nicole Peckham. Alexander Grant Lons. Caitlin Eve Gersten. Shaylee Marie Menhenick. Olivia Catherine Chug. Rachel Maria Brez. Sophia Joy Gayuer. Caitlin Mary Capitani. Connor Orville Jasmine. Owen Derry. Jacob Michael Lockhart. Devin Joseph Walker. Philip On. Jack David Spinks. Sydney S. Bendeski. Jessica Blum. Athanasia Marilyn Hayes. Varun Shanmugam Ravichandran. Jeffrey Yiran Ying. Milap Patel. Anuj Amin. Sophia Malinchuk. Reagan Steele Burkaw. Grace Allison Cole. Caitlin Ann Garland. Audrey Frances Deloney. Walker Willis. Haitham Al-Cosmi. Omar Abdallah. Ryan Alexander Salzman. Ramon Antonio Reyes. Jack Panagrossi. Isabella Merrim. Jordan Elizabeth Hadrill. Skylar Ann Harriman. Sierra Rose Ellis. Alina Levin. Shannon Marie Folds. Paige Elizabeth Boyes. Megan Carey Justison. Abigail Jane Heisler. Adriana Victoria Calabat. Erin Nicole Zane. Bree Braidaway. Jaden Mary Tice. Sylvie Grace Goodrow. Parashar Athmukuri. Blair Sion Park. Anna Rose Ramsby. Rachel Merrill. Emily Ann Walter. Anna Mervich. Catherine Claire Soldez. Rachel Weingarten. Taylor Taylor Durliat. Just Todd? Yeah. Aaliyah Taja Hickman. Benta Victoria Wilson. Johanna Grace Schultz. Raquel Valeria Morabito. Blake Tyler Grove. Andrew Askar. Evan Nicholas Belair. Christian Thomas Illich. Kellen Flynn. Jessica Ann Sepsi. Shinhei Monet Chun. Yuchian Wong. Andrew Pan. Julian Toyerkoff. Bhavani Iyer. Michael Donald Andres. Colin James Walsh. Isabella Grace Steckel. Anne Catherine Dark. Last one. Sophie Alex Covell. I'd like to ask Mr. Josh Murgos to take his position on stage to congratulate the Bachelor of Science Movement Science graduates who have completed an intraoperative neuromonitoring concentration. Kyle David Spence. Nolan John Ondersma. Lauren Ruby Abelo. Jake William Slavin. Joseph John Drennan. Madison Grace Tolgetska. Xingyi Zhu. Kate Elizabeth Battaglia. Lauren Alexandra Scolari. Kithma Nyangoda. Carolyn Berryman. Regan Yuna Lee. Emily Claire Nelson. I'd like to ask Dr. Mark Rosentraub and Ms. Kelly Donahue to take their positions on stage to congratulate the Bachelor of Arts Sport Management graduates. Brendan Karsh. Noah Anthony Starr. Michael Lawrence Donahue. Josh Frohawk. Crew Bold. Daron Pakravan. Griffin Blake McClansky. Joseph Abram Cohn. Jesse Daniel Harris. Haley Ray Borja. Riley Nicole Carcaburo. Kieran Regis Mungrulker. Alana Nicole Gale. Paulina Grace Nevin. Elena Michelle Babbitt. Samantha Fong Kirschner. Haley Lynn Mazurik. Madison Paige Timrack. Allison Naji Chu. Jay Choi. Seth Thomas Jones. Jackson Alexander Mackey. Matt David Siegel. Jacob Pierce Belmont. Matthew Adam Lipsey. Emma Ariel Spall. Jillian Hannah Fishback. Taylor Side. Leah Ray Tauber. Callie Hope Trackman. Julia Rubin. Isabel Rose Wilson. John Grossman. Nick Koski. Gabriel Charles McFerrin. Matthew Ronald Lenahan. Eric Anders Harlock. Zach Stewart. Troop McKinney Shelton. Dashel Vanyan Silvers. Tanner Steffi. Enoch Takon Hung. Colton DeVos. Michael Graham Bay. Riley Jeffrey Day. Jaden Lee. Ethan Daniel Richards. Andrew Douglas Fairchild. Andrew John Rome Jr. Christopher Jack Callan. Grant Mathisen. Hadi Farhat. Samantha Grace Monroe. Casey Faith Lawrence. Olivia Ryan Bowen. Bodie Saul. Daniel Thomas Massey. Sarah Short. Ella Rose Canavan. Lauren Flamenhoft. Nicole Dragon. Autumn Edith Scott. Jonas Benjamin Meltzer. Jinyang Lo. Arjun Menon. Dominic Michael Marino. Sarah Regina Sheff. Melissa Razy Vozar. Maya Pandya. Dylan Richard Steele. Joseph William Goodsir III. James Patrick Kelly. Tyler Rosen. Aaron Joseph Clark. Maxwell Brennan Nimoy. Alexander Lee Shestag. Jake Sage. Benjamin Michael Metcalf. Blake Allen Schechtman. Andrew Graham Webster. Philip Michael Myers. Jack Farfel. Emily Kotick. Lily Rose McCormack. Morgan Elizabeth Banta. Sophie Ann Housey. Alexander Henry Clark. Matthew Harrison McKenna. William Donald Anderson. Gregory Scott Tarr. Alejandro Echeverria. Noah Wagner Gold. Ariana Augello. Caroline Louise Hink. Derek Michael Kunith. Jonah Siegelman. Ethan Grant Hill. Ryan Moskowitz. Jack Allen Kroll. Maddock Hanley. Robert Skrilloff. Jonah Aaron Gilon. Elizabeth Williams. Emily Ann Neihart. Joey Arslanian. Emma Marie Clapp. Christopher Kohut. Jack Logan Novaro. Jesse Sherrill. Milo Bennett Sherman. Matthew Laub. Waleed Yusuf Zakharopoulos. Daniel Ellis Rubin. Samuel Elon Marcus. Kyler James Conjoyan. Connor McLaren. Jaden Hahn. Aaron Charles Goldstein. Andrew Harris Prosen. Ryan Michael Cohn. Nathaniel Whitman Dowell. Cameron Jan Schlesinger. Dean Christian Elman. Jack Joseph Doherty. Luke Angelo Anderson. Jacob George Scher. Daniel Getz Irvin. Andrew Scott Rush. Cullen Kaur. Nicholas John Hogan. Brendan John Murray. Christopher Dominic Trapp. Michael John Reed-David. Daniel Max Schulman. Jacob Schlussel. Josh Swerdloff. Samuel Elias Abitanta. Eli Tobin Kestenbaum. Josh Strauss. Josh Thomas Teffer. Jacob Samuel Margolick. Samuel Barsh. Terrence Williams II. Ian Mordecai Odiambo Ochang. Fei Wong. All of these students have completed the degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty of the School of Kinesiology. Dean Plouch Schneider, it is my honor to present you the graduates of the class of 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Tribou. Graduates, please stand. When you put on your cap and gown today, your tassel should have been placed on the right side, signifying you had not yet graduated. On behalf of the Board of Regents of the University of Michigan and the faculty and staff of the School of Kinesiology, I congratulate you on your graduation this evening. Please move your tassels now from the right to the left. Well done, everyone. And now I'll turn the podium back to Dr. Bodery one last time.
Congratulations, graduates. Ann Arbor will always be your home away from home, and you will forever be a proud part of the history of the School of Kinesiology and the University of Michigan. You are joining the largest team at the University of Michigan, more than 670,000 alumni throughout the world. To our graduates, may you always uphold the excellent tradition that defines Michigan alumni and the Michigan difference. Again, on behalf of the school and the faculty and staff of the School of Kinesiology, thank you for enriching our lives, and good luck and congratulations to you, the class of 2024. In just a moment, we will conclude our ceremony with song, but first I need to provide you with some final instructions. After we sing, we ask that you all remain seated as the platform party recesses. The marshals will then dismiss the graduates row by row. Families and guests should remain in their seats as the graduates depart. Once they're out of the building, join them at the reception outside the School of Kinesiology building directly across the street from here. You'll see the tent on the left side of the building, right before the flagpole. See page 3 of your program for a map. The building will also be open for students to show their families around. Now please stand and join Kieran, who will lead us in singing the Yellow and Blue. Kieran will then lead us in singing the Victors. Although probably not necessary for the Victors, the words to the Yellow and the Blue are found on page 3 of your program. Thank you, Kieran. Again, thanks to everyone. Congratulations, and we will see you outside this kinesiology building across the street. Go Blue!